Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream happening every Thursday. Now, today I'm a little bit later than 4 o'clock, but it's all good. So, I'm here, and this show is all about learning ways to raise our vibration so we can all thrive together. And we are moving through a powerful waxing moon phase where we're building momentum and emotional energy as we approach the rare and expansive blue moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And this is happening on May 31st. It's a blue moon because there are two full moons in the month of May. Now, this carries strong breakthrough frequencies with this Uranus energy coming in. We have unexpected revelations, accelerated awakenings, and heightened intuitive downloads happening, especially because tomorrow we have a major Sun and Uranus conjunction in the sign of Gemini. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about the astrological news that's happening. And the big news is just yesterday, the sun entered the sign of Gemini. So happy birthday to all of my Gemini friends. Gemini has to do with it's the twins, and it has to do with communication and learning. And the shift brings a noticeable change in collective energy toward communication, curiosity, social connection, mental stimulation, learning, adaptability, and fast moving information. Now, this is because Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. This is a season that tends to accelerate conversations, media activity, networking, travel, and the exchange of ideas all align with the rapid disclosure and revelation themes that are unfolding right now. So, we're also in a waxing moon phase, which means we're moving from the new moon that happens on May 16th to the full moon that's happening on May 31st. And I want to say hello to Tristan Hicks. Hello, and thank you for watching. And yes, if you are watching live, please say hi in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. So let's talk about this full moon that's happening. Let me take that off of there. Okay, so we have this full moon coming up on the 31st. So we're growing from the new moon to the full moon. This is called the waxing phase of the moon as the moon gets bigger and bigger. So when we get to that Sagittarius moon, we'll be talking a little bit more about that, where truth will be amplified and there'll be more spiritual awakening and this kind of thing. So the sun, let's talk about tomorrow, which is the big day, May 22nd, where the sun conjuncts Uranus in Gemini. And this transit, and transit means the kind of combination of where the planets are and how they relate to each other, whether they're opposing. Conjunct means together. So the sun is conjunct, mean right next to the planet Uranus in the sign of Gemini. And so this transit has to do with shocking revelations, breakthroughs, disruption of old narratives, technological awakenings, nervous system activation, freedom and rebellion, also downloads and synchronicities and sudden insights. So it'll be real interesting to see if they do another drop of UAP files tomorrow. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago on Friday, is when they dropped the UAP files. About 162 files were dropped. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the UAP disclosure part of the show. But let's see. So because this conjunction occurs in the sign of Gemini, communication becomes electrified. Hidden information will surface rapidly. Media narratives can shift suddenly, which I think we've kind of seen this with all of this UAP disclosure happening on all the different podcasts that are more mainstream, like Jillian Michaels, I think that's her name, interviewed Lou Elizondo, And you should have seen her face. I didn't get to show any pictures, but you could see the ontological shock on her face as Lou Elizondo was telling her information. So I might bring that clip next week. But, this is something where whistleblowers and leaks gain momentum, and conversations around disclosure is going to continue to intensify. So this conjunction between the Sun and Uranus in Gemini is very aligned with the recent surge of UAP disclosures and government releases. So this is something that we can expect to it's mirroring or reflecting or supporting what we're seeing with UAP disclosure. So let's get into some UAP disclosure and talk about what's happening in the world. So disclosure is something that doesn't happen to us. As I've said before, it's something that we participate in, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to participate in this soon. The big news since last week is that the Pentagon released the major batch of new UAP files, and you can actually see them if you go to www.war.gov/UFO. That's where all the files dropped. So check them out. There were 162 dropped 2 weeks ago, and they were promised to be dropped every either week to 2 weeks, and possibly even 30 days. So I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow we'll see a big release, and that really matches up with the astrology that's happening. The other thing that we've been waiting on was an MK Ultra congressional hearing that Representative Luna had scheduled for May 12th. That got postponed. And then there was this whole little concern about the CIA, or claim that the CIA took a bunch of boxes of JFK and MK Ultra files. And Representative Luna was very pissed off about this, and she responded by threatening subpoenas and issuing a preservation notice to the CIA, which means that they cannot destroy any of the documents or files that they have. A lot of the MK Ultra files were destroyed in the 1970s, but apparently there's still some available, and this is what she wants to do the hearing on. So that's what's going on with that particular congressional hearing. We don't know when it's been rescheduled to, but I will keep an eye on that, and we will cover it when it does happen. The next news item that I want to represent or talk about is the movie Sleeping Dog, a documentary released on May 12th. So it is available, and I do have a tiny URL where you can go to get the movie on Amazon Prime. You can rent it there, or you can buy the movie, whether HD or SD, standard definition, for a little less expensive. I think it's only like $5.99 to rent it, and maybe $20 to actually buy the high definition version of it, or you could get from $9.99, I think, to get this SD version of it. But this documentary explores Jeremy Corbell, who's an investigative journalist, his role in bringing these military filmed UAP footage to the public and to members of Congress. So those 46 files that Representative Luna has been requesting actually came from Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They had gotten them. They know they exist. And so she's trying to get them declassified from the Pentagon. So we'll see how that all works out and when it works out. But this movie there's been several movies about UAP disclosure that have come out, from The Age of Disclosure by Dan Farrar. And that came out back in November. And the big one is that we're all anticipating is on June 12th, where Steven Spielberg will be releasing or premiering his Disclosure Day movie on June 12th, which is very interesting that he's doing it on that day, because I think there's some interesting astrology happening that day, but we'll talk about that in the future. So mark your calendars for June 12th, because I think that's going to be, even though it is a movie, Steven Spielberg yesterday was on Stephen Colbert and stated that everything that is in his movie is true. So it's going to be really interesting to see, because I think they're going to be talking about hybrid beings, hybrid humans, and this kind of thing. So, yeah, but there's a lot. If you have not been following this topic, start digesting this information so that it is not so shocking when you do hear it, because this is coming. And one of the ways that I've learned about all of this is because of Citizens for Disclosure, which is the grassroots arm of the New Paradigm Institute. And let's see here. Let me give you the website, newparadigminstitute.org. So, what's happening with the New Paradigm Institute and Citizens for Disclosure is that we've got a UAP transparency pledge campaign happening. And I just was on the phone today with a representative from North Carolina, or a staffer from a representative office in North Carolina, to talk about this transparency pledge, where we're asking all the different representatives, over 430 of them in the House, and then the 100 senators, to sign this pledge saying that they will protect and support the whistleblowers, and be for transparency, especially when it comes to UAP. So, we're actively doing this, and if you're interested in becoming a volunteer, or even just getting the newsletter to kind of be in the loop of what's happening, because New Paradigm Institute is like one of the main sources of information where we can get truth, right? Because that's so important. There's so much false information out there. And so we have to really be discerning about where we get our information to make sure that it is the truth. So, New Paradigm Institute, you can sign up for their newsletter. You can sign up to become a volunteer and help me and others to urge our congressman to sign this pledge. And actually, I'm going to give you a link right now that you can go to sign up. They made it real easy. So just go to this tinyurl.com/capital GVTV transparency and just fill in your information. It'll write up the letters to your senators and your representatives. This really helps us because we need the pressure from the constituents, right? This is grassroots, from people in different districts to contact their Congress people, their representatives. And this is such an easy way, take you not even a minute to well, maybe 2 minutes, depending on how fast you type, right? But so please do this, because this will really make a difference so that we can, have disclosure, at least from our government, in a timely way, because they have been keeping this hidden for so long. And I want to talk to you a little bit about Galactic Good Vibes. One of the series that I just started is where I interview ET experiencers on this show. So I am on my third episode right now with Natalie Hill. This episode is live. Part 1 has been released, and this is how you can watch part 1. It's just go to this tiny URL. Part 2 is coming soon. I'm still working on it, putting the final touches on it. So I'm hoping that'll be released probably not tonight, but tomorrow or the next day. And just go to the YouTube channel, Good Vibes TV YouTube channel, and you can check it out. So, this is really important. All of this information and conversations about consciousness, about disclosure, and it's really about humanity's place in the cosmos, seeing ourselves, not just human beings on a planet, but as galactic citizens. And I think this is what I'm understanding is UAP disclosure. It's like all these ETs want us to become part of the galactic family. It's really like Star Trek. And it's funny because what was I going to say? I lost it. Sorry. I got this clock from my husband that goes off at the top of every hour, and it distracted me. Galactic, being part of the galactic family. So, I feel like all of this UAP disclosure is about humanity evolving, right? I personally feel like we're evolving to the fifth dimension, or we have the choice to do this because there are going to be a lot of people that decide to stay in the 3D world, stay where they're at. But there are a lot of others that are more conscious and aware and wanting to evolve to um, the light beings that we are. So, anyway, if if this is new information, or you're trying to wrap your head around it, or you're trying to understand and meet people that are experiencers of the ET phenomenon, check out this series, Galactic Good Vibes, because this is why I'm doing it. Natalie is so interesting. You'll gain so much, and I broke it down into small parts. Although this part one is like 45 minutes long, part two will be about 30. In part two, she talks about her hybrid children. So it's mind blowing. Let me just say, if you're not in this world and you're just learning about it, there's a lot to absorb and try to wrap your head around. So I'm trying to make it easy for us all. Okay. So let's now I want to talk to you about something more down to earth. I love these summits that happen, and there's a superfood garden summit that's happening on June 1st through the 5th. And this is something that has been happening for the last 10 years. The 2026 Superfood Garden Summit is free. It's a 4-day online event designed to help you grow your own food in a way that's simple, practical, and actually doable, no matter what your starting point, whether you're been a gardener, a container gardener, or just never, even if you have trouble. This is what the summit is for. So she's got several different people speaking over the 4 days, and I think there's a replay period of like 24 hours where you can catch the replay if you couldn't watch it live. And I'm going to play a little video that explains a little bit about this summit. So here it is.
Excited to invite you to the Superfood Garden Summit, the easiest way to bring healing superfoods into your life. This online event is interactive. It's 15 experts, giveaways, plus live Q&A so you can get your specific garden questions answered. We've partnered with these visionary gardeners so you can learn how to grow superfoods year-round, regardless of your climate, so you keep your mind clear, boost your immunity, and wake up feeling light and alive. And whether you're brand new and tired of guessing what works and what doesn't, or you have a few seasons under your belt and want to simplify your efforts while maximizing your harvest, then the Superfood Garden Summit is for you. Now really is the time to plant seeds of hope. Are you ready? Let's get our hands dirty together.
So again, that's happening on June 2nd through 5th, and I'll talk a little bit about it next week as well. But here is, let's see. Oh, did I forget to put the tiny URL down? I did. So I will have that tiny URL link for you. I'll put it in the description, and I'll have it for you next week too, because I think it doesn't happen next week. It happens the week after, I believe. Yes. Okay. So it is time for us to do our meditation. So as we nourish our bodies with living foods, like from this Superfood Garden Summit inspiration that hopefully you will watch, and maybe you're growing your own vegetables now. I've got little tomato seedlings that I'm growing from seeds. I have other plants in the garden, and I love working in the garden, having a garden, and growing live food, and eating, fresh tomatoes out of the garden, or lettuce, or Swiss chard. And as we nourish our bodies with living foods and higher conscious choices, it's equally important to nourish our minds, our hearts, and our spirits. So let's take a few minutes now to slow down together, and I will lead you through a guided meditation. I'm going to get our music going. And if you're driving or operating heavy equipment, please, this is not for you right now. Watch the replay. And so this meditation is called Opening to Truth Without Fear. So take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and gently exhale. Again, breathing in peace and releasing tension. One more deep breath, allowing your body to soften, your mind to quiet, and your energy to settle into this present moment. As you continue breathing slowly and naturally, imagine beautiful roots extending from the base of your spine and the soles of your feet. Feel them drive deep into the earth and feel yourself becoming grounded, stable, supported, safe. Allow Mother Earth to hold you lovingly and completely. Now bring your awareness to your heart center. Imagine a beautiful, glowing, golden white light glowing softly in your heart. It's warm, peaceful, radiant. And with every breath you take, this loving light expands. It expands through your chest, through your entire body, surrounding you in a cocoon of peace, love, and divine protection. As this light grows stronger, allow yourself to release any fear, any anxiety, any uncertainty, or heaviness that you may be carrying. Release the need to control everything. Release the fear of the unknown. Release the stress of the outer world. Simply breathe and allow. Today, as we move through these powerful cosmic energies, the waxing moon, the Gemini season, and tomorrow's Sun-Uranus conjunction, allow yourself to become open to higher wisdom and inner clarity. You do not need to fear awakening. You do not need to fear truth. You are here to evolve, to expand, and to remember who you truly are. Now silently repeat these affirmations within your heart. I am grounded in love. I trust the unfolding of life. I remain calm as truth is revealed. I open myself to higher wisdom and divine guidance. I align with peace, clarity, and the highest timeline for humanity. Feel these words becoming energy, frequencies, vibrations flowing throughout your entire being. Now imagine this golden white light radiating out from your heart into your home, into your community, your state, your country, and across the planet. See millions of hearts awakening. See humanity remembering compassion, unity, wisdom, and peace. Feel yourself contributing to that collective healing, simply by holding this frequency of love. Take another slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, anchor this peace deeply into your body, into your mind, and into your spirit. Know that no matter what unfolds in the world around you, you can always return to your breath, to your heart, and to your inner light. You are stronger than fear. You are guided. You are loved. And you are here for a reason. Take one final deep breath in and gently exhale. And when you're ready, softly bring your awareness back to this present moment. So how was that for you? I hope it was peaceful and got you into a good state. Welcome back, everyone. All right, you can put in the comments if there's any feeling or anything that stood out to you in that meditation. And I added these meditations to help us kind of get into that inner space. This is the silence, when we go within, this is when we can hear our inner guidance from our higher selves and from spirit. So important. So it also gets us ready for the spread of the week. And this year, I started, instead of featuring a different deck every month, I switched it to sharing a spread of the week from this book called 111 Oracle Spreads for Every Day by Crystal Banner. And so the spread that I chose this week kind of relates to what happened last week, what I talked about last week. It's called the Grief Support System Spread. And so this is the layout here. And card number 1 represents your current state. Card number 2 represents support from your family. Card number 3 represents support from your community. Card number 4 represents support from your inner resources. And finally, number 5 represents support from the universe. So I want to read from the book the description of the spread. So grief is an experience that we all encounter at some point in our lives. If you're grieving or supporting someone who is, the spread gives you permission to be lovingly held and supported in your grief as you process your feelings. So last week I spoke about the passing of our dog Merv and did a little tribute to him. And for those of you that have been praying and sending good vibes our way, I can feel them. I do feel more at peace with it and not so sad. So thank you for those who have. I mean, on Facebook, I got all kinds of messages from people. So I know that their prayers coming our way, and prayers really make a difference. So let me thank you for that. But grief is part of life, and grief is processing loss, and it could be a loss of anything, whether it's from a pet, a loved one, a job, a divorce, a relationship. This is part of life. So hopefully this spread will give you a message if there's something that you have been grieving. Even could be lifestyle, or could be anything. So if you want to put it in the comments, that'd be great. But let me ask Spirit to help us, help me pick the cards and give us a message for the highest and best good of all concerned. Okay, so I'm going to lay out these cards, and I finally got my camera going. So let's see if I can get this up here. Okay. Yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to lay the cards out and then I will flip them. So one goes here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'll read from the book. The deck that I'm using is called Wisdom of the Oracle, and this is a pocket edition. It's small. And this is by Colette Baron Reed. So card number 1 represents our current state. And so the card that we're getting is Round and Round, number 25. Round and Round. 25. Here we go. Okay, so round and round, the meaning is the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated. Cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. Again, this is our current state. The appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level, looking down on your circumstances or into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So, spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated. This represents cycles that you're challenged to break or revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. So that is the current state. Number 2 is Unfinished Symphony. Unfinished Symphony. Maybe I'll put it there so you can see it better as I read it. So card number 2 represents support from your family. And this is 10. Support from your family. Unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. This is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so your emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that your symphony can finally end on a high note. So that's support from family. Unfinished symphony. Number 3 is support from your community. Happy, happy. Number 26, which we've gotten before. Happy, happy. You can see it. 26. Joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. So that is happy, happy, the message from our community. I'm not going to read it because it's pretty much about that joy and contentment, feeling that all is well. So that's community. Card number 4 is support from your inner resources. And the card is Observer. 49, Observer. Perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. So support from your inner resources. Most people will see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring instead of only considering yourself, and consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaging with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek, and you will indeed find. So that is a card, support from your inner resources. So be the observer. And the final card has to do with support from the universe. And support from the universe, that's the position of this card spread. And TikTok 30 is the message. I know there's a comment. I'll look at it in a minute. So TikTok, essential meaning, timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. When humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that's not true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire. So release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations. Know that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. So that's the grief spread. Let me look at the comments here. Sino Sonono Technologies 1858 saying hi. Hello, thanks for watching. So back to the spread. So current state again was round and round, and the way I'm taking that is, everything in life is cycles, and it's natural to have a birth, growth, and death cycle. And whenever there is a death, that just means a new beginning. So as far as grief and the current state, we're in that cycle. We're someplace in that cycle, in the cycle of grief. As far as support from our family, Unfinished Symphony. Now, the grief could also be experienced by the family if it's a grief that happened, in your family, a loss that happened in your family. And so that's the card representing support from your family, Unfinished Symphony. Number 3 is the support from your community, which is happy, happy. So I kind of see that as your community holding the joy vibration, staying in a positive, vibration to help lift you up out of that grief. Card number 4 is the card representing support from your inner resources, which has to do with the observer. And so it is, I think, really important when we are going through a loss to kind of zoom in and look at the big picture of what was learned from the relationship or the loss, and just seeing the bigger picture that, this human life is temporary. What's eternal is our spirit, and the spirit and life consciousness that's in each sentient being, whether it's a dog, a cat, a tree, a rock, or an ET, any kind of alien species. So knowing that and zooming out and not being so, as far as talking about grief, knowing that kind of makes it easier, and understanding, okay, we're experiencing this grief because we're spirit in a human body experiencing these feelings because that's what we're here to do. And it's all good. And the final position is support from the universe. So interesting, TikTok. But what I'm getting from that, as far as context of this reading, is that time heals. Time heals all wounds. And even from last week, I am not as upset, of course, over of Murph passing. And I actually got a message from someone today. I was asking if there was a message from Murph, and he was telling me about how dogs tend to rebound, meaning they they return, that the spirit of dogs are so loyal that they'll come back in another form. Could be another, animal companion that's similar to what they were, but that I would recognize if we're open to that. So that gave me a lot of what's the word? Peace, I guess, peace and comfort, and actually joyfulness, knowing that if I'm open to it, my husband, he's ready to get another dog, but I'm like, no, we need time to grieve. We need time, to realize. And to me, our animal companions are not like shoes. You just buy a new pair, or a car, they just get a new one. No, they're beings. They're part of our family. But if our Murph wants to come back in another form, I'm open to that and will be happy to co-create that with him. So that is the spread. I hope you got something out of it. Let me see here. And if you like this book, I'll put the spread back up so just so you can see it. Like that. There we go. If you want to use it. But anyway, that is the spread of the week. And again, if you want to go to Good-Vibes TV, you can get this book or her or the deck that's also listed there. All right, so let's turn these beautiful insights into practical action in today's high vibe habit and tip to raise your vibration. So last week's tip of the week was about honoring grief with presence and not pressure. And the advice was to rest when needed, to cry when needed, to share memories, spend time in nature, look at old photos, talk to your pet, light a candle in their honor, allow gratitude to exist beside the grief. So that was last week's tip of the week, and it was really helpful for me to remember this, be aware of it, practice these things. And, we've been through several pets that have passed on. It's always difficult, but again, zooming out to the big picture, knowing this is a temporary experience and that our animal's spirit is eternal, when we will see them again, whether in this form or when we transition, just gave me a lot of peace. So that was last week's tip of the week. And this week's tip of the week is to practice the morning gratitude frequency reset. So this tip is where when you wake up in the morning, to spend at least 5 minutes placing your attention on your heart center while consciously generating feelings of gratitude. And so you want to think about 3 things that you appreciate. Think of 3 things that are going right and 3 things that you desire to manifest as already unfolding. So this practice helps shift the nervous system into coherence, which means like balance. Think of coherence as like alignment, like our brain and heart coherence. And as opposed to like chaos or franticness. So this helps shift the nervous system into coherence, right? Balance, and raises our emotional frequency throughout the day because we're setting that intention. So if you're basically in a frequency of gratitude when you're waking up and really feel it, can't just think it, you have to feel the feeling of gratitude. That sets the day for miracles to happen, honestly. I love waking up in the morning thinking of 3 things I'm grateful for and going to bed same way. This is a little bit more specific because again, it's 3 things. Think of 3 things that you appreciate, think and feel. Also 3 things going right, and then 3 things that you desire to manifest. And feel as if it's already happened. So that is this week's tip of the week, and I hope that you get to practice it. And let me know in the comments, even on the replay, what you think and how it impacted you, how it was working for you. So my friends, we're coming to the end of the show, and I want to say, please, if you've enjoyed the show today and got something of value, please like, share, and subscribe. Share with a friend. And again, thank you for joining me today on the Good Vibes Lifestyle. And as the world continues moving through rapid transformation and awakening, remember, stay grounded, stay discerning, and lead with love. It's important to protect your peace and continue to raise your vibration, because together we can really make a difference and help the consciousness of humanity raise one person at a time. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Have a beautiful week. Peace out, everyone.